Listen, if you're like me and you've picked up this center console with these dual gauges and added it into your 720 and you realize that the oil pressure gauge is not working, it's because you've got the wrong oil pressure sensor and you need to add one wire into the harness. So let's do it right now. For this project, we're going to add this one wire into our factory harness and we're going to use this oil pressure sensor, which actually has two taps on it. One for your center console and one for your instrument cluster. The additional wire that I added into my 720 actually came from a Nissan D21. I went to the junkyard and I cut off this section of harness, which is actually the male side, and this is a 8-pin connector. And I'll show you how to remove the wire because you actually want the connection end. So there's a little retainer clip back here that you have to pop off, just like that. Then select which wire you want. You want to put a little tension on it. And then I use an X-Acto knife, and right under each clip there's a tab that holds it in. So if you pull the tab back, it'll come out just like that, because you actually need this prong, this male prong, to go into the female prong on your harness. We're going to remove our windshield wiper fluid reservoir out of the way so we can gain access to these three connectors that are in between it and the battery. Now the connector we're looking for is this 8-pin connector here. Now in our book it says that the yellow wire with the green stripe, which is this one, goes to our instrument cluster to our oil light. And the wire that is yellow with a blue stripe is the one that goes to our center console. If you come over to this side, you can see that the yellow and blue wire is not present. That's the one that's missing. There's actually a plug in there in place of it. So there's a tab on here that we have to push back, and then this black piece will come out, giving us access to those wires so we can add in the one we need. To disengage this lock, we're going to need two screwdrivers. We're actually going to stick one in here and we're going to push from the bottom. What I'm pushing on is these tabs. There's 1, 2, 3 tabs on the other side. So when we put the screwdriver in here and push against these tabs, the lock will pop right out. Okay, now we got that loose. Now I just need to remove this plug. Just like that. Okay, now we're going to add our new pin connector in. I'm going to get that in. I'll cut you guys back on. Okay, we got our new wire installed. We've got it pulled in, pin pulled all the way through. Now we just need to put the lock back in, and we're ready to go. Okay, we got our old sensor out. I used a 1 1/16 inch 6-point socket, and we're about to go in with the new one. And remember, before you put your new one in, make sure you add a little Teflon tape to the threads to prevent leaking. When you're using the spade connectors, you definitely want to heat shrink them so you can keep the two connectors from touching. And that's when everything went left. It didn't work. The instrument cluster light wouldn't work, the center console gauge wouldn't work. So I hopped on the internet, did some research, and actually someone recommended that I should be using this sensor instead of this sensor. This was the original sensor that I had. I've had this sensor probably 5 years sitting around waiting for me to do this project. And when I finally did it, it didn't work. So again, they recommended this sensor, which I ordered, and it was delivered Sunday. So we're back on this project. One of the things I did find out when I was in the book, this is the original sensor. And this sensor is used just to light up the oil light on your instrument cluster. It serves that one function, where this one actually has two leads. One is for your oil light on your instrument cluster, and the other is for the oil pressure gauge on your center console. It's kind of shaped like a T. There is a T plug that goes with it. I didn't pick that up when I got it out of the vehicle. So just keep in mind that the top of the T is for the center console, and the body of the T, the up and down, is actually for your instrument cluster. And I could show you on these where this sensor actually passes the buzz test, where you connect the lead to the base of it, the prong at the bottom, and touch it anywhere and it buzzes out. With the second sensor that I got, remember this one is for the light, so you click that on there and it buzzes out also. But then you have this one, when you go on that part and you try to buzz it out, you get nothing. This sensor doesn't work. I don't know if it's the wrong sensor or if it's not for this particular model, but this sensor doesn't work. And I will definitely put a link below to this one if you guys are interested so you can pick it up. So we've got Teflon tape on here. We're ready to go. Let's pop this in and see what we got. Okay, we're in the car. We're going to turn it on and see what we got. So we're going to turn it to the on position and our oil light is lit up. So that's telling me that our sensor is functioning. So once I start the car, the oil light should go off momentarily and then we'll start picking up a reading from our oil pressure sensor. Here we go. So our oil pressure light is off. We go down to our oil gauge and see what we got. And there it goes. It's starting to rise. That's a good thing. So it looks like it all works. Hey guys, thanks again for checking out the video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Leave any questions you have below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time,